How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I apologize. I had to update my password of all things.
Oh, isn't that a
Yeah.
one sometimes? Well, I mean, I've been reading your journey. I mean, it really is a journey with this IRB thing, and you're getting your city's training stuff straightened out and talking to your SSC and getting it. And then I saw a note on your Halo from a George somebody.
Yeah. So just to give you a little bit of an update, um, but he's with IT. So on March 1st, after we met and, I had to do a complete overhaul based on feedback, based on documents that were old, because prior to that, I had prepared my IRB packet. So I went ahead and I changed everything based on the proposal, defense, and recommendations. And I did my final submission. Uploaded the IRB packet, which is, really labor intensive on May 1st. And I got an error message. And when I saw the error message after investigating, I saw that it was my city training. So when I did my city training in October of 2024, I did like the shorter one, and there's one that's 19 modules, and I did probably six of the 19. So I had to go back, finish the modules, and I thought that once I finish, the system would see that it's there. I uploaded all the module documents. They say to wait 24 to 48 hours. I did. And after 48 hours, nothing happened. Whenever I called IT, speaking with the people there, you can tell when you're speaking with someone who city IRB is not part of their vernacular. Like you could tell that it was not rolling off their tongue. And I would call and speak, and I said, well, I'm supposed to call you according to all, the proper channels, and could not get any help. A lot of frustration. I think I probably have maybe seven tickets by now with IT. And finally, yesterday when, and I wrote a letter and I let student services know what's going on. They weren't able to help me too. Everyone's telling me to reach out to IT. So I reached out to a supervisor, and that's Peter. And I explained to Peter, how unacceptable that for the last 3 weeks I've been waiting. I've been talking to IT to no avail. And he said to me, oh, well, it's because the regular IT people do not have the authority to kind of move this process. And I said, well, regardless, they should at least have been able to articulate, talk to a supervisor. And, I was really upset because I've been sitting on this for 3 weeks. So finally, he was able to do whatever he could on that end and to push it. And within less than 10 minutes, my packet went through. However, I had been communicating. So I do have um, another extension request to send to my student service advisor and also to Dr. Berger. First of all, letting them know what has happened. Within 2 weeks of me being admitted back, my proposal defense, I was able to pass, but and then do the IRB. And I did say all of these are iterative processes that oftentimes it's not within my purview to move forward, right? So I am asking for an extension, and part of it is IT sat on a process. I submitted May 1st and it went through yesterday, 25 days. And that's 25 days of waste. In terms of where I am with the school district, I do have a conditional approval, which expires June 13th. But once I have the IRB approval, that should override that. And I do have a participants waiting in the wing that I can't even talk to or say anything to until my IRB approval. So this is pretty much um the process that has, stalwart, you know,
So
moving
when
forward.
when you write, this is just a thought that came through,
Hmm.
and when you write that letter to Dr. Berger,
Hmm.
I would say two things. One is somehow or another, it's your fault you didn't get the city's training correct. You need to say that. I
Yeah,
put,
it is because I've been doing
I
circadian.
know,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yep.
trying to say something.
Sure.
You need to say that
Hmm.
so that you're not putting all the blame on the school. You want to say there's blame to share.
Okay.
I, and that way it's much more palatable, okay? He can take that in better than if you were to unload on the school,
Hmm.
not getting it processed. And so I think if you let, and that you did something on your part to get it straightened out, you're asking him to help you with the school due to the time lapse that you are asking him to give you a the extension, and in doing it not in a hostile way, doing
Hmm.
it not that you he owes you something way, saying you're putting your heart on the line, you're being as transparent as possible. You need his help to make this happen. You feel like that you're very close to finishing this up, and go that kind of tone.
Hmm.
Is that I don't mean to be demeaning. If you already know that, you probably do, but I'm just
No,
really
I do understand. And even in communicating with IT, because I think I was really very upset with them. I mean, you can understand 3 weeks.
right. No, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, that's critical. That's 3 very critical weeks for a person like me, where every day I'm communicating. And part of the reason I was upset with IT is, you know how you talk about the accountability part? Like, what did I do on my part? On my part, I didn't finish this study. And I acknowledge that. There were a lot of moving parts, and very extensive time. I did not finish the study in 2024 when I started. So, and I noted that and I said, hey, that was, that's my bad. I didn't finish it. And I right away, the moment I found out that within 48 hours, I completed it. But I think the frustrating part is to, this is me at school and I'm at work and I'm talking to the IT and they don't know what they're doing. And then people tell me to talk to them some more. And then finally yesterday, it's almost like you have one person with the keys to the kingdom, but they're not sharing. And because of that, and I'm like, that's unacceptable because if other students have that same experience, not just me, you know.
Yeah, but you don't want to take on other students. You
Yeah,
want
I mean, it's
I,
not at this point. Yeah.
I think the thing is, Marguerite, I'm trying to coach you a little bit,
Hmm.
is to move this out of the this world and put it up, bring it up to a higher level.
Okay.
Bring it up to that you're praying about this, that you are a Christian, that you really have you want to be a part of this university because it what it symbolizes that,
Yeah,
and
don't make it sound accusatory. Yeah.
that is the truth. But if you move it up into that realm,
Hmm.
then it isn't like, oh, you should have da 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 da. Uh, we don't want to get there. We want to get it now. We're at a place you want His grace.
Hmm.
You're asking prayerfully for His grace. You feel so honored to be here, and you opening yourself up, and that's where you want to go to.
Okay.
And
Point.
and then
No.
it doesn't get into he said, she said, and then they didn't have the wherewithal and they're incompetent or blah 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 blah. We don't
Mhm.
want to we don't want to go there.
Okay.
We want to that's the school's problem to figure out how they don't have these kinds of things happen.
Mhm.
But that's their problem. That's let them figure that out. There's people that have talked to you that understand there's some problems in there in that system.
Okay.
So all you're wanting is a resolution and his blessings to finish this program. That's what you want.
Okay. So I did not send anything, how they say the 24-hour rule, rest on it. So I did write an email, but I didn't send it. So what I will do is I will reread it, given the 24 hours and given your suggestions, and I'll send it to you. I mean, before I send it, just so you can make sure, because I do have to ask for an extension. Ashley Armstrong did um, advise me to wait until I was closer to the end because I was going to do it 2 weeks ago. And she said, why don't you wait until you're closer to the end? Since this has been resolved, the packet went to IRB. It was submitted yesterday. So, I mean, I don't have the results, but at least that's a progress to show that, I arrived. Now, did it meet the requirement of the class that I'm currently in? It did. However, we know that my deadline superseded that class requirement. So that's why I'm asking that extension. So,
Well, what do you need the extension for this moment? Is it
well,
because I agree with her, with Armstrong.
mm-hmm,
I think we need to proceed ahead and get going. Get yourself on the track and collecting data. Even if you collect two participants or something, if you have already started and you demonstrate that you've already started collecting data and now you needed an extension and you do it prayerfully with him, you're showing him that you're not sitting there um,
just
upset.
idled waiting, yeah.
Yeah, you're going ahead with the faith that this is going to work out, and that's what you got to do.
The reason I was asking Dr. Miller is because so now if the IRB comes back, I know they have like 10 days or to look at the document and then kick it back if anything. If I'm out of a class, I don't know how that goes, that because
Well,
my
you
class
may
is
have to go. Uh, if you're collecting data, you don't have to be in a class.
correct. What about
So
if
if
I
the
need, I'm
but the
sorry,
IRB can kick it back. You've already submitted it while you were in a class.
correct.
And that's on them if they're not getting it done fast enough. They're not going to say, "Oh, you're not in a class, so let you, we can't go from here." I think
Mm-hmm.
now they're going to let you know, go ahead, and then you start collecting data. And
Mm-hmm.
then that that shows that you're true blue. You're going to go right on into and you get into the process of having everything organized and you've started with the data collection and blah 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 blah. And
Mm-hmm.
then when you start approaching the end, then you want to go to Burger and you want to say, I've done this, I had this breakdown, I overcome it, God willing, He helped me. Uh, and now I've done this, and now I'm looking for your blessings. I need an extension. That's how you want to, is my opinion about that.
And normally I would say that's, a good advice. However, I'm thinking about the June 3rd deadline. Today is the 27th, right? So I it's at IRB right now. IRB has a few days to kick it around and then kick it back to me in whatever format. So when June 3rd comes
13th,
in,
June 13th, you
oh,
said.
I thought it was June 13th is the school district, their conditional approval from last year.
Oh,
That
okay.
was good for 1 year and it expires June 13th. I'm not so concerned because if I get my IRB approval, then that's all they really need to see on their part since they had given one. What my biggest concern is Dr. Berger said June 3rd. So if June 3rd
Okay,
comes in, yeah,
oh, okay. So you're right up against it with Burger.
correct, correct.
So you don't go to your SSC with this. You go right straight to some manager that can have Burger's ear. You're not going to get right straight to Burger, but or whatever you can do to get to Burger as quickly as possible. You don't want to be in a stack on his desk.
Well, he's replied to me one on one before, so I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not the first time I've sent things. Now, whether it's his like whatever secretary, but normally when I send an email to Berger, he replies right away.
Okay. Well, then you need to go that route and
Hmm.
keep it on the up and up, you
Okay.
know, and it and that you feel like it's a blessing that you've gotten this far, that you understand that things happen, and now you have faith that this you can complete this program, and would he please help you?
Okay, I'll do that. So, as always, I will CC you in and also the student service advisor just to keep everyone in the loop so no one doesn't know what's going on. Um, and yeah, it's basically just saying, hey, this is where I've arrived. I understand that I had the deadline of June 3rd. Right now, this is the progress that I've made. And I'm waiting on IRB. And once I get that, I'm going to hit the ground running to, just complete it. But I will be needing, it doesn't necessarily mean the extension has to start next week because you're right. While waiting on IRB and while also talking to participant, if I get that approval, I don't really need to be in a class, as you state. But I just want him to know that I didn't meet the June 3rd deadline, but this is what I did in the interim, and this is what I'm in the process of doing in
And
order
then
to, yeah.
what you want to do, because you don't want to have to go back to him. So
Oh, yeah.
so you want to put something realistic in your brain, God willing, and I'm sure God's going to help you with this, is
I
that
hope.
you're going to get that data collected,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to go through writing those chapter 4 and 5,
Correct.
and then you have to have them reviewed by the committee.
Level 5. Mm-hmm.
No, by the committee. So
Oh,
you,
by the committee. Yes. So the committee first before moving to,
yes.
okay.
And that means that the methodologist has to okay
Mm-hmm.
4 and your CE has to okay 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then we send it to the consultant review of level 5.
Okay.
And then that takes a time
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people, I just had a person go
Mm-hmm.
through yesterday. And I think you want to, so just think about, put it on paper. How long, what's the shortest period it could take thinking that these reviews are going to take, at least five to 10 days per review.
Correct.
And but you can simultaneously if you have 4 and 5 written, you can get the methodologist on 4 and the CE on 5 if
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, so you don't have 10 or more days there, you can
To
have it.
wait. Correct.
And then, but you can't really speed up that level five review because there's so many people that have the same story you do or a different one. And
Mm.
so they're trying to speed it up
Yeah,
too.
everyone has, yeah.
And so just if you put that kind of thinking on paper, so when you go back to Burger, you don't just say, I'll get it done. You'll have thought through realistically what is the fastest you could get it done and what is a possible slow period. And
Okay.
so
So
that way you're not up against, oh my God, I've got myself through, but I can't accomplish anything. I can't do what I said I was going to do. And now I'm back to burger. I
no, we don't want that.
Yeah. So you understand what
So
I'm
yeah,
saying.
I do. So my question to you, so the June 3rd deadline, I had nothing to do with that. I would have never selected that because it seemed impossible from the get-go, but it was not my, I didn't have any say in that. So now that I'm asking, I can at least try to gauge like something that is feasible. So in your experience, since you live this, daily, um, where I am at right now, having just submitted to IRB yesterday, and who knows what they're going to say. And then if say they kick it back and then I go, whatever, the regular, what you've seen happening, what am I looking at in terms of a timetable that I can say to Dr. Berger that I, on my part, know, barring like something really extenuous, that I can achieve. I don't want to say, Dr. Berger, I will be done by August 1st, and August 1st is impossible. Because I want to leave the back and forth, the kicking back at least once or twice into the process where I know 10 days review. And then me, when it comes to writing chapter 4 and 5, I know that I know what I can control, chapter 4 and 5, and having the methodologist and the content expert having it simultaneously as opposed to waiting 10, and that's 20 days. What am I looking at?
Well, let me ask you a big question.
Hmm.
When last year we were talking about all of this,
Hmm.
and you had two IRBs. You had the school IRB and you had GCU's IRB.
Correct.
Still the case?
Yeah, so last year the school IRB gave me a lot. Like they made me jump through more hoops. GCU, I wasn't really at the process because I had not defended my proposal. So I was kind of putting the cart before the horse when it came to GCU IRB. But for the district, I'm kind of glad I went through that initial process with them because they did make me jump through but they already have my study right now. Even if I give them an updated one and say, hey, in the interim since the year I spoke with you, but it's nothing new for them. But I'm not so concerned about the
Well,
district.
let me just say this.
Yeah.
If you have a lot something in writing that the district gives their approval, then
Hmm.
my experience with GCU's IRB is rubber stamp.
I do have something, and it is part of my IRB packet. It is a conditional approval by the school district of Philadelphia, and
So
it's good
just
until, yeah.
maybe if you want to get that updated or whatever, that's your power. That's what gives you strength with the IRB here because they're taking it upon themselves that they're fully responsible. But
Okay.
if they feel like that your school's IRB is taking responsibility, then they'll just say, good deal.
Okay. Well, what I will do is, since my school's conditional approval is ending on June 13th, I will call my RRC, which is what we call our RRB, and see if I can get an updated form. I also have to get a form from someone saying that they will be the one supervising me while and that person I know will do it in a minute. So I'll just get the forms updated for another year. Hopefully we don't need another year, but at least they'll see a form that has at least a year on it.
So think as we talk through this, I think
Mhm.
that you want to go and get that in your hands, okay? That you're going to print it off. They'll send you a technical copy of this, a
Mhm.
digital copy of this. You print it off, and then I would go to the IRB
Meeting.
office hour and
Hmm.
say, here's my deal right here. And they're taking responsibility. How do I get this through? So, because now I'm under the gun, how can you help me?
Okay. So the one that I have, because it expires on June 13th after, that would not have the same weight.
No.
Okay. So I'll ask
I mean,
RRC.
it would, if
Hmm.
you had a backup letter that said, we know the 13th is, but we're going forward with this. And
Okay. Okay.
yeah, but,
So I'll do that then. Um, I'll get an updated or extended from the district.
and
And
you don't want to handle this by sending emails and stuff like that. You want to be there in person at that office hour meeting with your little document in hand that you can put up there and show and
okay.
say, I have this. Now I don't want to, how do I move this forward now?
Well, that's good to know. I'm looking right now. So I can get a letter to RRC the moment I get off the phone with you to just ask them for an updated document. And I know the next office hour is on the 3rd. It's always a Wednesday, 10 o'clock Arizona time, which is 1 o'clock my time, which is always like the worst time, Dr. Miller, for me, but I will make that time to go to that meeting next Wednesday if
Yeah.
I can get my
Yeah, you
extension.
want to be in person. You don't want to handle this through
Oh yeah,
correspondence.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
want to
want to
be
be,
in
yeah.
person and with your smile on your face and handling this because emotional regulation is probably one of the key factors of negotiation.
Hmm.
And if you can regulate your emotions as you can, I've seen you, not have them amped up and, into a panic mode. You need to bring them down. You've thought through this. This is a very doable plan, blah, blah, blah. I need you to dot, dot, dot. I need to have it happen by what's the fastest I can get it done by. And you want some names and some dates. And now, what is your name, doctor? And then I can you send me an email on that? Or, you want something
Okay, something tangible when I walk away.
other than just a discussion.
Oh no, I don't just want a discussion. I need to walk away with something tangible. So, whatever that is, that would be helpful. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I'm thinking like maybe I owe Peter an apology because he seems like, I don't know, Peter in IT.